Today is a cool day because we're going to continue on an LS swapped BMW build that I started years ago. I actually did finish it, but I never posted anything, and the car ended up being my main tool for mocking up turbo kits. So if you haven't followed along on social media, I know I haven't been posting a lot on YouTube lately. I started building turbo kits for my friend Mike to try to support his business, and with his help and support, I ended up kind of starting my own business doing it's called Mayhem Fabrication, and I specialize right now in doing BMW LS swap turbo kits. It's pretty awesome. So here today we're going to be working on installing one of my turbo kits on this car that I would say is kind of turned into my longest standing owned hot rod. That's never really been a hot rod, it's just been a tool in my garage. So we have here is the engine and trans that were originally in the car from the video way back. There's the car living its life in my very messy garage that I don't think you've seen yet. This is a new house that I have. We can get to that later, but for now we'll focus on this guy. This is an iron block 6.0 bored out to a 6.2 for those that care. It's just a cam and springs, has 243 heads. It's a little bit of a Frankenstein. It's got LSA bottom end with an 8-bolt flywheel attached to an F-body T56 with a diamond clutch. I think it's a stage 2. So at some point I'm sure that'll need to be changed out. Should work for now. Tick performance shifter. And as far as this all goes, I think the last thing I didn't mention was it has like a Texas Speed, I think an MS3 cam that Garrett through Hangman Performance helped me out with. The fun stuff that I'm installing today is the turbo kit that I have built and refined for quite a long time. If you haven't seen my website, go and check the website out. It's called mayhemfab.com. I'm hopeful to be building more stuff in 2025 for different chassis, but for right now we specialize in this chassis. All that being said, right now I'm just going to go over some quick install tips. I'm going to be putting the hot side on this engine, and these are some things that I think would be helpful if you were someone who purchased this kit and was looking to install it. Maybe you're not super experienced, or you just want to have a heads up on what you're getting into. I'll post a couple pictures, or you can look at my website mayhemfab.com, and that'll have kind of what comes with the kit currently, because things do change as I'm continually trying to progress and make things work. So I don't know when you'll be seeing this, so I don't want to really do like a unboxing kind of video. I know it may sound silly, but to me it makes sense. We have my manifold. Now this is my demo manifold. This is mine that will be going on my car. So typically you'll have a Mayhem Fab stainless steel tag on here, which I love, but they're really nicely built T4 flange. And then I already have the crossover mocked up, so we'll go over a couple things install wise that you want to watch out for. So on Mike's mounts, they're slotted, and you need it to be pushed all the way forward on the mounts, if that makes any sense. All the way forward on the mounts this way. That way we'll have clearance for the crossover tube underneath the subframe. This is a Holley 302-1 style pan. This is built specifically around this pan. It fits very snugly, everything fits very tight on this kit, so it's important to note that you have the right oil pan. Currently the kit is being built around this is like a 2010 plus Camaro LS motor, you know, because they do end up getting into LT in the later years. I don't know the exact cutoff, but this manifold is a stock style GM manifold, and they're commonly used in the LS E90 swaps. So that was why I built this around this. I get a lot of questions as to why I did it. It's a really good flowing manifold. I think they should be somewhat easy to find. I do source them and try to help customers, so it just depends. You'll have to email me and ask me at the time. I have some right now. It just kind of comes and goes as I can get them, but this is already bolted up. Pretty simple. You'll get gaskets, and you'll get these nice sweet bolts that you see from me, and you'll also get this 2-bolt flange gasket. There's a gasket in here, and we have this kind of mocked up, as you can see. So I just have these loose, and the first thing I'll do when I get ready to get this manifold installed is get the manifold tacked up here and get this V-band situated first and foremost before you start getting anything else tight. You'll notice on the manifold that it's slotted here. That slot makes it a lot easier to get this manifold in place. There's just not any room to be doing anything with any bolts, so that's why it's got slot. Some more of our bolts. Got a manifold in here. I usually like to pin the front and the back, but then whenever you're torquing it down, definitely want to start in the middle. But we're gonna leave this nice and loose, right, until we get this V-band done. So as you can see, we got our bolts in here. Everyone but this one is fairly loose, and we're gonna work on getting this V-band in first. I typically like to orientate it like this. Maybe not perfect, but realistic. So you can kind of understand exactly what you're working with. And that's why I like to get this guy done first. Now, personally, get this nice and tight. And once we have this guy nice and tight, then we can move on to the other ones. One thing I want to note, any V-band on this kit, I do 100% recommend including your T-bolt clamps for your intercooler piping, using hand tools. Hand tools are your friend when it comes to V-bands and T-bolt clamps. Trust me, you'll catch me with power tools on all kinds of things, but T-bolt clamps and V-bands, you're not gonna catch me with these. Other than anything other than a hand tool. You can see what I mean. There's a close fit down there. It'll kind of change a little bit too once we get this side bolted up. This V-band bolted up. Now we can go in and start. Now we'll just go ahead and get this side, these two bolts tightened up. These are not included in the kit. The only hardware I do include is for the manifolds currently. That could change, I'm not sure, but currently only the manifold. So I'll need to get some bolts here. I have two bolts that I actually tack welded the tops to. It just kind of makes it a little bit easier. In my opinion, I guess it could end up hindering install or removal, but that's something I did. So we'll get these tightened up and move on to the next step. A quick clip I have to throw in here. So just so you know, there will be more parts to the story. We got it further along. You may have seen it if you're in the Facebook group, but these 2-bolt flange gaskets that I was just tightening down there, it leaked when I installed the engine. I thought I had this thing torqued down. These take a heck of a lot of torque to get squished all the way. I don't know, is that a technical term? Be sure, if you are watching this for install purposes, that you squish that thing all the way down. The other thing is, I had a manifold gasket leak. The manifold gaskets that I sent out, I sent an email to the customers. So hopefully you received that. If you didn't, I'm gonna show you right now. These are Remflex gaskets. I haven't yet installed these on my own car to see for sure that it's assisted me with the leak. But these I have been told by multiple people that these should help with making sure that there's a good seal. After looking at the gaskets that I sent out, they just look like they might not be of the best quality. Unfortunately, I bought a lot, like a group of gaskets, so I could send them out to everybody. And for whatever reason, it doesn't look like they're doing the job that I'd like them to do. I've gotten mixed, I'm sure they're working for some people. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure everybody's getting the best outcome possible. So if you are watching this for install purposes, I wanted to make sure you got that info. Here's a nice little visual. Mike's mounts. That's a We only use Mike's mounts for my kit that I'm aware of, so just so you know, built based around Mike's mounts. See that we have some nice clearance over the other side. When you look from this angle, it should really be tucked up under that pan. Sweet. Now we're gonna push it back into the car. Dude, cracks in the concrete will be the death of me as a car guy. In case you're wondering, I need to get rid of all these expansion joints. So that's gonna do it for tonight. All in. Big thing here would be definitely try to make sure you got, zooming in, taking a little bit, you got the mounts slid over to the driver's side. Hopefully you can see that. So the engine needs to be pushed over to the side as best you can over the driver's side. It's going to give you the downpipe clearance that you need. If you're having issues getting your downpipe in, it's most likely because the engine's not all the way to the side. I've had this come up multiple times, usually like with folks who already have their swap running naturally aspirated and they go to put this turbo kit in and they're like, oh, I can't fit the downpipe. Usually it's that. And you can simply loosen up those bolts and use a pry bar on something on the engine block or somewhere around here and shove it over to the side. It'll usually go pretty easily. I'm able to put the whole engine, transmission, everything in with the hot side on. You know, you can disconnect the steering shaft to make life a little bit easier, but these cars are really easy to work on if you've never done it before. So that's the thing that we got for you today. Instead of making these too big of a deal, I just want to make them useful for you and something that hopefully is helpful. And maybe it's a little bit interesting too if you haven't seen anything like this and you're kind of interested. There's a Facebook group for these cars. If you're not from there, go check it out. There's a lot of really sick cars on there and it's just super interesting. Even if you're not a BMW guy, which I'm not, I'm more of like a muscle car guy, you guys know that, but these are really interesting. You get AC, heater, really nice, you know, you close the door, it's like boom, like, you know, it's like really good interior. This handling's freaking amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things about these, even for us hot rod old muscle car guys, that you kind of get the best of both worlds. And it's something that's just different. You know, people aren't going to expect this thing to sit there and chop at the stop sign or the stop light and then also make, you know, 700-800 horse. So it's pretty cool. All right, we'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.